Have you ever wanted to be able to separate out your audio tracks, but without a mixer or without a third-party software while you're streaming or recording? Well, then this is the video for you. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So today we're going to be looking at separating out your audio tracks within OBS. Now, I'm not going to say this is the official way to do it, but this is how I would set it up if it was me that was streaming or recording and I didn't have the streaming gear in to do so. So the first thing we're going to do is we basically have a blank setup here within OBS, and in a general sense we've got our usual defaults for our desktop audio and our mic aux inputs here. So the first thing we're going to do, we're actually going to disable them, and just for the sense for being able to hear me while I'm speaking here, we're then going to actually add in another mic source. So what you want to do is go to settings, go to audio, desktop audio we're going to disable, and mic auxiliary audio we're also going to disable as well. And there we go, we're back in. All I did there was just add in an audio input source, and this is our microphone. This is what you want to do as well within your own setup. So what we also want to do is we also want to make sure that, say for example, if we separated out our audio tracks and we have music on top of that, but we don't want it to go to our Twitch VOD or maybe another service such as YouTube. What you want to do then is inside settings, make sure on your output, inside output mode advanced, you're then going to have your Twitch VOD track. You're going to want to enable this and put this on track 2, and your audio track is going to be 1. Basically, your audio track 1 is everything sent out to your live feed. However, like I said, we don't want any kind of copyright strikes of audio just in case. So we're going to stick out audio track 2, and we're going to set our output for our music to go to that track. So for the past couple of versions of OBS, I'm going to say from about 30 and up at least, we actually have a new source called Application Audio Capture. Now what this does, this literally just captures the audio output of one of your applications on your computer, whether that be Spotify, Discord, or even your game. Now the kind of annoying thing about this setup is if you change your game around a lot, you're then going to have to set up a new audio capture for this. However, it's a couple of clicks away, which isn't too hard to do. So what we're going to do here in OBS is we're going to add a new source. We're going to say Application Audio Capture. Let's set up one called Discord. So we're going to click on Window, and then we're going to select Discord and match title, otherwise find window of same type. So now this here is going to be our actual Discord for anyone coming in on the call. However, if you don't want to be allowed as your microphone, you can then just duck it down a little bit more. So you're going to have to kind of try and test this and make sure that this is all right before you go live. I suggest with your music and your gameplay, just do a screen recording and see how the audio is for yourself. Next, we're going to add in another one for music. So say for example here, we've got Spotify. And we're just going to say, okay. Now this music is going to be max out volume level. So we're going to duck this down just a little bit. So we're going to bring it down to about -10 or so. Let's start playing. Have a wee look at this. There we go. As you can see, it's still a little bit loud underneath my voice. So if you're wanting music bumped up, but at the same point too, you're scared in case your microphone is drowning out the music or your music is drowning out the microphone itself, we can actually add a filter onto this. Now we're going to add a filter, which is going to be a compressor. And inside here, we're then going to have sidechain ducking source. We're going to click on that. Then we're going to click on microphone, meaning that the input from the microphone is going to make this audio track duck down. Now, generally, I kind of have the ratio around about 3 to 5, and our threshold, I literally bring this down to about -42 to about 50, I'm going to say. Our attack and release, the attack is how quickly it acts upon that. So we're going to have that pretty instant. We're going to have that around about 20 milliseconds. And then the release, if you want it to be a gradual fade up of the music while you stop talking, we can then increase this to about, I'm going to say, we'll bring this out up to about half a second or so. And there we go. So now if I start playing the music again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start talking, and the music is actually going to duck down behind that, which is a very, very handy thing to have. Of course, if you want to sit here and, like I said, within the attack, if you want to make it a little bit slower, we can then increase that. But yeah, that's literally all there is to it. Like I said, you can sit there and you can add your browser source as well. So for example, if we go application audio capture beta, you can say browser, and then in here we have got Opera, and then that's now our browser for mixing in audio as well. So you can completely customize how exactly this is going to sound on your stream. Like I said, I recommend doing recording as well. Now, we set up the Twitch VOD track earlier on. So inside this audio mixer window, we're going to click on advanced audio properties and see how we got music here. We're then going to deselect number 2. So make sure that number 2 is not selected. This means now, whenever on your Twitch VOD track, or if you send it out to another source, say for example, if you're using ATEM Multi-Stream, and inside the ATEM Multi-Stream, we can go to advanced settings, audio settings, we're going to select track 2 and click OK. That basically means none of my music while I'm live on stream is going to be sent out to these sources. And when the VOD is saved on Twitch, that means then the music is not even available there either. The exact same goes for in your clips, which is very handy, especially if you're going to be sharing this on social media, and you can add in your own background music and you can actually configure the audio levels post-production. If you want to add these into each of the scenes that you're going to be working on, you can actually start grouping them up as well. So we're going to add a new group. We're just going to call this one audio. And inside here, we can then start adding our browser, microphone, Discord, and everything that as well. Meaning that, say for example, we do create a new scene. Boom, there we go. Everything is back in. All we have to do is just add that group back in to your new scenes. And if you ever manipulate anything inside that group, it'll be done from scene to scene, which is very, very handy to have. But yeah, but apart from that, there's not really too much else that you need to set up for this. Like I said, you're just going to have to, in a general sense, if every new game that you add in, you're either going to have to add a new audio source, or what you can actually do is you literally just call application audio capture. We're going to call it game. And inside here, we can then select this. And then each time that you need to change something, you can just double click it and then change your different window output as well. The kind of handy thing about this too is that the fact is that if you want to be able to do monitoring, say for example, of maybe notifications and everything that too, and you don't want them to be doubled up, you want to make sure you go to File, Settings, and inside Audio, we're going to have our monitoring device, and we can literally set that as our default device as well. And in a general sense, this means that when stuff comes through on your system, no one else is going to hear it, but you can also hear it too, especially if you've got, say, for example, notifications coming through. Maybe say you got your browser alerts or something like that. You can then actually say monitor and output, basically meaning that it'll be output to your stream. However, it will come through your system and you're not going to double up on your audio at all. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much everything for the video. I would say if you've got any questions about this setup, let me know down in the comments. It's pretty easy to set this up in a general sense. Remember too, if you basically bring down your music within Spotify, if you bring down the audio within the application itself, that will be reflected within OBS. However, though, it can be very easily controlled and you can pretty much keep everything else up to the max and kind of see how the mix is. However, you can sit here like this and actually kind of mix it and master it a little bit better exactly to how you want your stream to be without any mixer, without any third-party software. But that's all for today. If you guys like the video below. If you want any more tips and tricks within tutorials of OBS, let me know, or streaming gear as well. I'd like to review items and find out for some companies as well to work with in the future. But until then, I'll catch you in the next video. I'll see you.